Hi everyone, thanks for being here today. I'm Sandra, and a little while ago Coco reached out to me and she said, Sandra, would you like to talk at Women in Ethereum Protocol breakfast? And my immediate reaction was, thanks Coco, but I'd rather not. So not being too keen on speaking. And then the second thought that came into my mind was, Sandra, be comfortable being uncomfortable. And the reason I had this thought is that just prior to that, I'd been sort of fairly captivated by this young man called Ned Brockman, who was doing this incredible challenge. He tried to run 1,000 miles in 10 days to break a world record that had stood since 1988 by an ultramarathon runner called Yanis Kouros, who did it in 10 days and approximately 10 hours. Well, Ned decided he was going to set the bar really high and he's going to try and do it in 10 days. But not only that, he was going to run around Olympic Park Stadium. So it's a 400-meter circuit. So he was sort of looking at, a blue track for 1,000 miles, which was just incredible. But along the way, he made it. You can see he's bandaged up there. But with friends, you get around it. And he also inspired other young people to really say, what are they wanting to do? What is the charity that they want to do something special for? And he was in such a bad way that his mum had to sort of push him in a wheelchair onto the track to do it. And partway through it, he knew that he was not going to hit that 10-day record, but he didn't give up. He still showed up, and he kept going till eventually he did it. But the thing is, it took him not 10 days, but it took him 12 days, 13 hours, 16 minutes, and he got there, having run all night. So, if then I've got a fantastic opportunity to speak here, why am I saying no? So thank you very much for reaching out, Coco, and thank you, LaDonna and Xiaowei and Pooja for putting this together. I think it's incredible for us to have this opportunity. So today I just want to share with you a bit of my sort of career journey and a bit of my life history, really, I suppose. So it started off at my very first job was a temporary part-time lecturer in statistics. Well, you can't get more sort of temporary than that. And the reason is I actually failed half of my maths. So I had a year to do something, and I was very lucky that my professor approached me and said, did you want to do lecture stats 1? I said, yeah, okay, that would be awesome. So I actually managed to find a photograph of the 3 people standing there. They were my lecturers. They really didn't look that young when they lectured me. Anyway, when I then finally graduated, I joined a central merchant bank. This is just a random picture. And what I discovered is close to my office, there was a Hewlett Packard that was under wraps. It was just, I suppose they thought it was a good idea to have that, and it was just left there. And then I thought, work was rather tedious, and I managed to sort of teach myself how to use it, and it just made things more, it automated some fairly boring tasks, and it was fun. And then I started getting requests to code up certain things. I thought, oh, this is really fun. So, and then I thought, well, I don't even know anything about computing in those days, because obviously I'm a lot older than everyone else here. And so I reached out to IBM and I said, what are the career paths? I don't even know anything about IT apart from I'm having fun programming. So they said, come and have an aptitude test. So I did that. And long story short, they employed me as a trainee programmer. And so I ended up working for them in South Africa, in the UK, and in Australia. And it was just amazing to see this whole revolution from, I started there, and they actually had some of their jobs still had punched cards. I mean, it's just incredible to imagine. Anyway, so after that, I decided I was really missing statistics and going back to academia. So late in life, I had a fantastic opportunity to study under the leadership of Professor Kerry Mengerson at the Queensland University of Technology, grabbed it with both hands, and then did my postgraduate there, and eventually got my PhD in environmental statistics. So then after several years in academia, doing research into amazing different projects, I thought, well, it's time to return to the real world. And I went to work for Flight Centre, which is a travel group in Brisbane, that were around Australia, and I think in the UK I've seen them. Anyway, I worked there as a data scientist. And one day, a bit like we have a networking event here, there was a networking event that I went to, and there was a guy called Peter Robinson from ConsenSys there, and he was looking to hire some more people in Australia to join the Ethereum ecosystem. So that is when after sort of like numerous interviews, which lasted several months, and Sally, you were actually one of my interviewers. I joined ConsenSys, and my exciting journey in the Ethereum ecosystem started. So I joined as an applied researcher. So I had the opportunity of combining both my stats with the interesting different projects that are around in the ecosystem. So these are just some random papers and things that are up on archive. I was also really fortunate to get a grant from the EF to work on, it was looking at validator economics. So we all know that there's an issue with so many validators in the ecosystem, and there were questions like, how can we cap that the number of validators? So the thing that I looked at was not only that, but how can we have like a variable minimum balance, but also encourage some of that consolidation to reduce the overhead of running a validator and verifying the chain. Then at the same time as that came through, the maximum effective balance EIP came along, which also was trying to achieve the other thing of reducing the validator set by compounding validators. So I sort of shifted my focus to that and looked at how proposer selection would look if you do have validators that vary in size. And then the most recent project I worked on was looking at that intersection between Web3 and AI, again, which is a really interesting area to explore. And we recently just put that up as a preprint on archive with my colleague David Highland-Wood. So to me, in the Ethereum ecosystem that we are all lucky to work in, there's still so many interesting challenges, fragmentation. I feel passionate as well about decentralization. I think that was the whole ethos of the Ethereum ecosystem. We need to be decentralized. And I think, there are a lot of forces there that are making it more centralized. And I think we need to be conscious of doing that. But apart from challenges, I was really excited to see with Justin Drake this week that we still have those visionaries as well, that not only are we trying to address the challenges today, but looking into the future, what could Ethereum in the future in 2029 look like? So I just think that, there's never sort of a dull moment in Ethereum, to be honest. But anyway, what happened recently is about just approximately exactly 2 weeks ago, I was made redundant. So I knew there were rumors going around that there's going to be deep cuts at ConsenSys, and I knew my situation was precarious. But still, when that actually happens, all of a sudden your life changes. Your daily routines are out the window. Everything like life, everything changes. So you feel almost like on the outer, here I am, what am I going to do? So I thought, well, listen, I better get my thinking hat on, where am I going to go from here? And then my husband, wise person as he thinks he is, says to me, listen, we're going to crack open a bottle of bubbly, we're going to sit down and relax, you're going to go and sit and celebrate the 6 years you've had at ConsenSys, which has been amazing and you always go on about, and let's really look into the future, what can we plan and go ahead. So this is the ecosystem we're in, guys. It's volatile, and if you ever find yourself in the situation I am, look for new opportunities and celebrate those moments that you've had. So my decision was, I'm going to spend time with my family till the end of the year. Next year, I'm going to plan where I'm going to go. So those are my 4 children. There's my husband sitting. And I want to do more of my ocean swimming, which I love. So I want to sort of plan my life more about a work-life balance, because I always found that I didn't quite have enough time to do the things I wanted to do. So I just want to get that sort of balance right. And I love Africa and the game and wildlife. So that's what I want to do. So Just some closing thoughts. I want to just spend time with family and friends till the end of the year, and then I want to definitely remain in the ecosystem. I feel very much part of it, and I want to remain as in the ecosystem, but sort of in a more, where I've got more control. So anyway, so I'm going to leave you with a few closing thoughts. I think the Ethereum community is awesome. And I mean, just look at all of us here today. I think it's such a supportive community. And I found that not just with women who've got the same issues that we're facing, and so supportive, but just in the ecosystem in general, people have just been incredibly supportive. So I think we're very lucky to be in this community. But as we know, change is a constant. So we've got to embrace it, because you can't have those interesting challenges if there wasn't change all the time. The other thing is, I think all of us need to start getting comfortable being uncomfortable at times. Put yourself out there. As Shaway was saying as well, it doesn't come naturally, certain things, but you just got to do it, and the rewards come along. And I mean, it seems a bit of a cliche, seize the day, but like if you find opportunities that really inspire you and you think you can contribute to, do it, just grab it, just give it a go, and follow your passion. The other thing is, this is just a thing that I put in because I think colleagues at work and wherever is a bit like family, isn't it? Like you don't choose them, they're there. So sometimes some people might be more challenging to deal with than others, but invariably there's always something positive in that person that you can relate to. So what I try and do is, if I don't naturally sort of gel with someone, I try and look until I find something that, I feel I can admire them for, or that I feel I can connect with. And that's helped me to have good relationships with colleagues I work with. And if you can't find anything, just try a bit harder, you might find something. And then the other thing is, it's okay to not be okay. Sometimes we get so many messages, be positive, this and that. But, sometimes we got to just accept that we're not okay. And, just kind of take care of yourself and take a step back sometimes. And I found that as well with a couple of colleagues of mine. We can so easily just burn out. And I've seen that happen. And some people have recognized, like, listen, things are getting out of control. I've got to take a step back and just reassess and give myself time to look at things afresh. And if that's you, I encourage you to take that time, take a step back and take care of yourself. And that's about all I wanted to say. And if I'd love you guys to stay in touch with me, because I still, as I said, I still feel part of the Ethereum community, and I intend to stay that way. So we'd love you to be part of my journey continuing forwards. Thanks, everyone.